It is the 7th of August, 2022. This is WIKISPEED Standup. It's just me today. It's Michael Olchuk. We will get right into it. So this past week, I installed the SunFounder Git repository. SunFounder, I don't remember the name of the car. It's version 2, and it's the one with video. In any case, I installed it and figured out where the one in it is that I need to use for I2C, and I got it documented. For the tank level project, I ordered the Fire Beetle ESP32s, 7 of them, along with another TF Luna LiDAR sensor from Mouser. 3 days later, the parcel was received, and I put one of them together loosely because I don't have a soldering gun up here, along with the old LiDAR sensor on a breadboard. Didn't get any testing done, but I cut apart a USB extension cable so I can measure and compare the original clone ESP32 power consumption to the Fire Beetle. I don't think I'll be using the LiDAR. I'll just measure the consumption of the ESP32s themselves. That should be enough to figure out whether they're going into deep sleep properly and how much power it's going to take. For Ross, I got my refund back for the buck converter that I got from Amazon that didn't work. I shipped it back to Amazon. I ordered the new one, and I actually asked if I could exchange it, and they said it was going to take longer, and I'd have to deal with the company directly, returning the one I have because it didn't work, and ordering the new one. I could do directly with Amazon, which is kind of strange, but that's how it worked. And for the Little Red Wagon project, I bought that. I did buy last week the motorized wheelbarrow. I brought it to the lake. Ended up it only had one battery. I haven't done any testing so far, but that's on the list for next week. So unfortunately, I have no new videos of anything to post next week. I am looking at reinstalling ROS onto the Raspberry Pi for the SunFounder car. Getting that video taken and getting the one file from the SunFounder GitHub for I2C loaded where it needs to get, so I can get Tiziano's ROS demo running, which is what I've been trying to do for several months now. For the Little Red Wagon project, I'm going to connect the 12-volt battery that came with it. It's actually supposed to be running on 24 volts, but it'll run slower on 12 volts. I've got a 12-volt contactor and a button, and then when the contactor closes, it's going to connect the battery to the motor and just run it. It's only going to run in one direction. I don't have reversing on it. Minimum viable product is no reverse, no brake. I'm just planning to drag it backward instead of powering it backwards, and make sure it's not on a slope when I leave it. I'll be taking a couple pictures, maybe a video. Take a or wheel brake linkage and add a lever type of brake cable. I have a choke cable from a manual lawnmower at home. I need to remember to bring that up to the lake here. And I'd like to add a reversing switch to this wheelbarrow on the left side of the wheelbarrow frame, so that when you are before you have the button pushed, you just choose forward or reverse, and then it changes the polarity, so you can run forward or reverse and not have to drag it. And part of ROS, I think, is coming up with a way to wake up the 36-volt lithium iron or lithium battery packs that I bought, that'd be a month ago. And that would be it until I can't do any of that testing with the battery packs until I get the buck converter back from Amazon. And for the tank level project, I've got to test out the code for the old ESP32. So the code I'm going to be running is the newest code, and it does do the deep sleep stuff. So I'm going to test it on the old ESP32 and take a video of the power usage when it's awake and running Bluetooth versus deep sleep versus just running the power supply, which actually the power supply takes like half a watt. Then I'm going to test the identical code for the Fire Beetle ESP32 running the same or the same way. Take a video for power usage when it's awake, when it's running Bluetooth, and uh, deep sleep, and just the power supply, so that we can compare them. If the Fire Beetle does what it's supposed to do, the difference between just the power supply running by itself and the Fire Beetle in deep sleep should not be detectable on that power supply, because of the Fire Beetle uses so little power in deep sleep. Then I need to take video for it and edit the video, post it, and then I will be leaving the tank level running with a 6-minute sleep and a 1-minute run on the Fire Beetle. The original ESP32 lasted about a day, like 24 hours. It is expected that the Fire Beetle will run for about 4 days, but we'll see when we get the information on how much power it's using. And then after that test is done, I would like to change the code to take 2 levels in a row, separated by 10 seconds, and then deep sleep for 7 hours and 58 minutes, so that it takes approximately 3 readings a day. And then I will just leave it running on the little 5-volt battery pack that I've got and see how many days it takes. That is about it for stand-up. Sorry, that's about it for what was done. And blocks, that's where we go. I still have a block for motivation, but I'm trying to get over it. Now, retrospective, I'm going to go with 10 out of 10 for me, because technically I did what looks like 6 points. I think it didn't feel like 6 points to me. It felt more like 3 points, but those are what I estimated at, so I'm going to leave it that way. I don't know whether my points should be expanded or whether I should just leave my points the way they are and increase how many I'm going to do per week. So it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Team is a 7. We are kind of not getting a whole lot done with the team during the week, but it's really tough to get people during the summer. As Lauren mentioned, it's finally nice. We're finally out of COVID, so people are rushing out to get stuff done with family and in the great outdoors, which I can identify with. That pretty much wraps it up for stand-up. And crosstalk doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's just me talking to myself. I guess that's it. We will hit the button and get it posted.